Keith Law of The Athletic, not everyone's favorite here in Houston, but he joined Joel Blank, Jeremy Branham yesterday, and right out of the chute, he came out guns blazing.
I don't care if Astros fans don't like me. I was right. What have I said that was wrong? Fans don't want to hear negative things about their team. That's their right as a fan. But the team's made a lot of pretty colossal mistakes since winning that World Series. I mean, how's that Jose Abreu contract working out? How's that Rafael Montero contract working out? How is he letting guys like Jeff Bagwell, with no front office experience whatsoever, make critical decisions working out? The team is clearly in worse shape today than they were the moment they won that World Series. The farm system is worse off. The Major League Club is worse off. It's just been mistake after mistake after mistake. You know, the Astros fans want to claim they don't like me. Can I hand you a tissue? Really, where's the lot? What have I said that was wrong? Everything I've said about this organization turned out to be true. Sorry, but not sorry.
Plat, Keith Law with the drive-by.
I mean, there's so many great parts of that. There's so many great, so much back patting, so much. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry.
It's nice to back pat every now and then when you've made a correct prediction. I should probably do it more myself. But Keith Law could not have been more right about the direction of the Astros in a post-Jim Crane world. And now, I mean, we're sitting here with the Astros not having played yesterday. They're in Los Angeles to take on the Angels for a 3-game series tonight. I want to push back against Keith. I think we all want to push back against Keith. And this is one of those rare moments where if you're an Astros fan, or even if you're Jim Crane and Jeff Bagwell, you kind of have to just sit there and take it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what. I mean, Jim Crane just has not spoken this season, so
do you blame him?
No, but I guess you could say all he's done is sit back and take it. But as far as Astros fans, like, yeah, he really. He just kind of went down the laundry list of everything that we've been calling out this entire season. Actually, some of the stuff dating into the offseason and last season with Abreu and Montero specifically. Now, Montero has been pretty good recently. So, you know, Rafael Montero's like, keep my name out of your mouth, Keith Law. But, yeah, I don't really find anything that he did or anything that he said to be objectionable other than the general tone. If people want to be upset about the tone, I'm not even upset about the tone. Maybe this is a little bit of a bias as just as someone in the media where I'm like, what he did was good. Like that was good radio, what he provided. And so I can't even get mad at him for that. But if you want to get mad at him for being smug, you have all the right for the smugness. But you can't on the facts. He's right.
Baseball writers got to stick to what they do best. And one is being smug. And look, if we're going to get a baseball writer on, I want someone who's got a little panache to him, which good job by the Killer Bees bringing him aboard. They got a good relationship with Keith. So that's how the interview started. This is not news to anybody. We all feel this way. But all of baseball also feels the same way about the way things are run by the Astros. And Keith Law was the first to say, hey, look, I mean, it's not a great place to work. You've had the book as well that was written by Evan Drellick. So Joel asked Keith yesterday if a perception that I think pretty much everyone who's been watching the Astros on a daily basis have, if the idea that Dana Brown, Joe Espada are puppets is the perception across baseball. Here's how that went.
Yes, that is 100% the perception. Now, I can't speak to, I know Dana. I haven't talked to him about his role there. I wouldn't ask a question like that. I just don't think that is appropriate. But I can tell you that is the perception, that Jim Crane has decided that he's smarter than everybody else, and he's going to have his little cadre of advisors who he respects because they played the games, not because they are evaluators or have experience in a front office. And he is allowing them to manage, at the very least, the core major league decision.
A cadre. Oh, I'm Keith Law. I use big words. But at the same time,
someone took AP English.
I know, right? Well, I did too, but yeah.
So did I.
How much do I remember from it? How much do either of us remember from it? I think for Keith Law, what he's saying, it's more confirmation of everything that we're all feeling right now, and you kind of feel helpless. You're essentially watching from afar as, I don't know, say you're a parent and your kid's being coached by a coach who sucks. You watch enough sports to know that. And yeah, you might be one of those parents that's helicoptering around and honestly being the worst. But sometimes you're seeing someone manage the thing that you love, and you know it's bad, but everybody else can see it's bad, and everybody else is also weighing in on it. So you sit here, and I guess my big question, Sean, is if you feel like at some point this year, Jim Crane, who we haven't heard from a lot, is going to hear all of this and get a little sensitive about it, reactive, or reflective about it, and perhaps change the way that he operates.
That's a tough thing to ask someone to do, especially a owner in sports, and even more especially a successful sports owner. For him, I guess you could say he changed the way he operates from going from Jeff Luhnow to and James Click to then going to this model, which is a questionable model, I'd say. Let's just have our guys run it. Let's just vibe out. So I think there's a possibility that he changes. I don't know the possibility that he changes for the better. I think that's kind of the sticking point. Is this year going to be enough of a come to Jesus year for him to get back to basics, find the next Jeff Luhnow and go from there? I just don't have faith that he would do it this after 1 year like this. I think there'll be probably more excuse making, probably more heads on spikes, and then some of it's also you kind of made your bed with this team a little bit. You kind of have to sleep in it.
Ugh. I mean, you can change your sheets, but some people choose not to.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Crane had very nice sheets. He decided to change
the nicest sheets.
He decided to borrow his friend's sheets that have very low thread count or something.
Yeah,
he's using Jeff Bagwell sheets right now.
Or those sweater sheets. Did you ever do those in college? I got them. There's like jersey sweater.
Oh, I saw other dorm rooms.
It's a
with
sweat
these.
factory. Yeah.
Yes, believe it or not probably more popular in Syracuse, New York, than in
definitely
Texas.
more popular up in the Northeast. But even then, I regretted it because I'm a hot sleeper. One time, I got in a fight almost with my roommate. The RA had to come in because on my side of the room there was the window, and on his side of the room there wasn't. So this guy never got sheets. He just slept on the plastic wrap that was around the mattress when he first moved into the dorm. Yeah, I know. Sean's making a disgusted face right now.
You're kind of a weirdo with the jersey.
The first year, and then I learned
he's a bigger weirdo,
much bigger weirdo.
What's going on with this guy?
So at the very least, I don't think Jim Crane's doing the plastic sheets, but yeah. So this guy, like he would get cold, and I was like, well, maybe buy sheets. I don't know. Maybe wash your clothes. Maybe I don't know. Try to freshen things up. And yeah, one day. I was trying to go to bed. My side of the room had the window, a big window. So I opened it up because it's like 80 degrees outside and there's no air conditioning. And he kept on coming over, reaching over my bed and closing it. And then I would just open it back up. So we did this like passive aggressive back and forth for about 20 minutes. Then he got up and he threw a temper tantrum and he went out. He got the RA, poor RA, middle of the night, brings the RA in and he starts yelling at the RA. And he says, like, I tried to talk to Paul about this one way. I tried to talk about it another way. You don't want it to go a third way. He said that to me. And I was like, well, how about the fourth way is you get sheets, number one, and number two, you wash anything because you smell like ass. And somehow, some way, despite us not knowing each other and going into this roommate situation, we lasted the entire rest of the year as roommates. And it was awful.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that wasn't some major pivot point, and now he's one of your best friends? No, okay.
No, I honestly, I hope all the bad things in the world have happened to him.
There is only, I don't know, There's probably more than two ways it can go with freshman year roommates.
This was my sophomore year. This was bad. So my freshman year roommate that I chose for my sophomore year, he had transferred. And since we had a good lottery number for a good dorm at Syracuse, he left and went to another school. So I ended up with a random assignment. So this guy was really smart, supposedly. Like Jim Crane thinks he is. And I got stuck with him. It was awful.
Yeah.
Getting up at like 7 a.m. and singing like Baptist psalms on a Saturday and a Sunday. Sorry, I don't play that. And coming in at 3 a.m. at night on the weekdays because he was studying. I don't play that either. But I didn't say anything because I'm not a bitch.
Yeah. So there's two different type of stranger archetype roommates.
Yeah.
There's ones where then we became lifelong friends.
No, this did not happen.
This is the other one where you get a complete unrepentant weirdo.
Correct. And to bring it back to our Sheets conversation.
What? Astros.
Jim Crane, he has changed the sheets and he thinks that he's the sheet master,
He thinks his sheets don't stink?
100%. And I mean, he's sheeting it up right now. It is a big problem, and I wonder if he'll learn. And I think we're all in the same boat in thinking that, he's probably just going to continue to operate as he has. And it sucks. I really do hope that every single person that owns a professional sports organization at some point comes to the moment where they look in the mirror and they realize, what I've been doing has been hurting the team. I think that when Cal McNair and Hannah McNair officially took the reins from Bob, there was a bit of a learning process, but they clearly learned. Like, they clearly learned from past mistakes. You've seen it over the last couple of years. I feel like Tillman Fertitta might be learning. Honestly, I don't know. Really, what I like.
Tillman's is kind of a different cat.
Because he's so hands-on with the University of Houston, too. And I'm kind of cool with him being hands-on with the Cougs. It's more with the Rockets and maybe his son. I would say, hey, let's let Ime Udoka and, to an extent, Rafael Stone take care of things. But when everybody is saying on the outside looking in the same thing about you, that you think you know it all and that you actually don't, and the results speak for that, I wonder if that makes Crane a little more hands off. But time's going to tell, and the Astros got a lot of ground to make up the rest of the way. Yeah. Seems like Keith Law is in lockstep with, ironically, Dana Brown, who has been promising a lot of things that I'm not sure he can deliver on because I don't know what they have to spend with. But Keith Law said that the Astros should go all in at the deadline.
They should be in, right? This club was built to contend. They are close enough to contention. And I think they can look at players like Bregman and say, we will get more production from Bregman the remainder of the season than we have from him so far. I think they should also look realistically. They've taken some real hits to the pitching staff. That's going to be tough to replace. I do think they're in the situation where they should say farm system is not in great shape, but they have some players who would have some value in trade, and they've been willing to take on some money in the past. I think they should take that same approach and just say, we're all in, especially with Bregman potentially leaving in free agency. I'm not going to write him off and say he's gone, but you take the attitude that he might be gone, and they should act accordingly and say, if this is the last year of Bregman, we do have a club that's a little bit on the older side. We should just say this might be the last big push, with the possibility that you're thinking about rebuilding on some level starting next year.
The reason that, while I agree that if they're going to do anything this year, they're going to have to do something, whether it's a starting pitcher or adding another bat. The reason I'm a little nervous hearing that, I feel like Joey Loperfido is going to get traded. And I'm not acting like Joey Loperfido is going to be like the next great Houston Astro, but I don't know. I mean, considering what he's done since coming up, he does feel like he belongs at the major league level, on a level that you don't often say about minor leaguers that early on. But he's shown power, and he's shown defense, and he's shown speed. And I mean, he's even got an arm.
It's also a farm system that, I mean, this isn't breaking news to anyone, but it's a farm system that has the last, year and a half, 2 years, has been consistently among the bottom of MLB. And so you have one young product of that farm system who, in his time in MLB, looks like he's ready for it. And the idea to ship him off, where it's like, well, I don't know when the next one is going to come along. I don't know if there's another Joey Loperfido in the mix, and we're not even exactly like we have been very high on Loperfido this segment, but it's just the fact that we're not fitting for a bust in Cooperstown, but it is just that there's nothing else that seems to be around the corner. And he was talked a lot about before he came up, and we're like, okay, we'll see. And then he proved it. And so the idea that they're going to go all in on this year, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. They need or at the very least, they need to play better in the time between now and when they decide to go all in to try to save this season. Because, and Dell and I were talking about this morning, you look at the contracts that they will have on the books next year. I think next year they can also, like, they'll also be able to compete next year too.
I agree with that. Honestly, I feel
so I don't think that this is like 2024 or bust. I think it's 25. Now, I'm only adding 1 year to this window that Keith Law provided, but I do think that 2025 they still have the bones of a really good team.
I'm with you there. I think one of the other unfortunate things, because there has been a lot of bad luck for the Astros this year. I don't want them to use that as the main excuse, because I mean the offense is too good to not be scoring runs on the level that they are. But you had all this pitching depth, and now you've got all these Tommy John surgeries about to happen. And we saw Spencer Arrighetti, and he's been better recently. Arrighetti would have been someone you could have shipped. I think, like, especially if you'd seen a little bit of Arrighetti and he wasn't being thrown like on the spot into some of these spots. He didn't quite get Blair Henley'd, but I mean, it was like
pretty bad. First couple starts,
right? And also, I mean, it was one of those things where like they probably did not want to put him in at this point in the year. They're probably hoping like June or something like that when somebody goes down. But Arrighetti would have been trade ammunition for you, and now you need Arrighetti the rest of the year.
You can't make a win now trade and trade away Arrighetti.
Yeah, sucks.